Good morning, everyone. It is such a lovely day out there today, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Of course, every day is a lovely day. And so today is a great day, like every day and every Sunday. Today our speaker is Reverend Glenn Lehman, and our music man over there is Ed, and our gong player is Reverend Jack, and I think that's all. But enjoy, because we're going to have something different, I guess, today, the way things look. So we'll find out. Sit and listen and have a joyous time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope every time I'm up here it's different. I certainly try hard. I want my epitaph on this wall to say, the guy who always tried to make things a little different. Because I work very hard at it, let me tell you. And today, I want you all to repeat after me, it's a great day to be alive.
It's a great day to be alive.
Again, it's a great day to be alive. 3 times is a charm. It's a great day to be alive. It sure is. And you know, if we started every morning as we got out of bed with that, I think our attitudes would change a lot. You know, it's very important when we get up in the morning as to what we do and how we react. And if we lay there in bed and sang, "This is the day that the Lord hath made," what a difference. You know, when we were in Egypt, we started out every day on the bus singing that song. And for me, it's a great day to be alive because my lecture is called A Celebration of Life. And next Saturday is my birthday, my 67th. And I am told Jack and a number of other ones. I'm glad to see one of my students and my roommate Bernard made it. He left early this morning, so came down and said, "What's all the food for?" And I said, "Well, I'm feeding everybody today at church, so we have lunch downstairs for everybody who wants to stay." I told Bernard, and I had told Jack earlier, that I decided that when we had Annie's celebration of life, I thought, how wonderful if Annie could have been here. Well, I don't want to not be at my celebration of life. So I don't plan on going anywhere, but for the next 20 or 30 years, every year on my birthday, I am going to give my church family lunch. And we are going to celebrate another year of my life and their life, because if they're still here, they're alive. Now, my first question, I want everybody in here to be honest. How many in here are over 50 years? Now, look around you. Look around you. Now, how many are under 50 years? We have a couple kids here, and, you know. Right. Lloyd, put your hand down. Now, to me, why that's important is because I'm not only celebrating my life today, but we're celebrating our lives today, because those of us over 50 years old can join AARP and are considered senior citizens. So today is a lot about senior citizens. So let's start our morning off with a prayer of thanksgiving. Father God, we give thanks. We give thanks for being senior citizens. And today is about the joys of being a senior citizen. Not about the other part. That comes easy after 50 years. Let me tell you, after what you've gone through in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s. So we give thanks that we are still here to celebrate this day, life. Because that's what we came here for, to live. And you know, live backwards is evil. And so we are fighting evil in order to live. And we are living in this tumultuous, place in this tumultuous time. And our strength comes from that source within us that is a part of you. That light that burns sometimes dimly, but sometimes very brightly within each and every one of us. We give thanks for this world, for this time and place where we can come and grow in that light as we travel through eternity. We give thanks for all things in our lives, the good, the bad, and even the indifferent. And we know that you are out there sending that light, that being that beacon, and it is up to each and every one of us to find that light. As Buddha said, as in the last moments of his life, he said to his disciples, I am not your light. You each have to find your own light. So, send out the light, and hopefully we will pick it up and send it forward. Amen. Amen. Now let us sing the Lord's Prayer. From Ecclesiastes, of course, my favorite chapter of the Bible, and probably one of the most read sections that you're ever going to hear. Chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them up, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent, I don't find that one very often, and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Now let us sing our second song, Wonderful World, and that is on your... I go out on my deck every day and I say to myself, what a wonderful world. As you look around you, and I live in the middle of downtown Allentown, and you may think that's hard to say, but it's not, because out my back door is nothing but the parks of Allentown. Our wonderful city has a wonderful park system, which most of us do not appreciate, but should. But even when I see not just the park, but the cars and the people and the groundhogs, which irritate me, and the squirrels, I still think it's a wonderful world. And I hope I can continue thinking that until the day that I leave this wonderful world. Now, in case you're not aware of the fact that you're a senior citizen, I have some clues here. And at the end of each one, I want you to repeat after me, you're a senior citizen. If you look for your false teeth or your hearing aid, and you have them in, you're a senior citizen. If you call Jack Glenn and Glenn Jack, you're a senior citizen. Because if you can't tell the difference, your mind's not there. If you voted for JFK you're a senior citizen. If you argue with someone over what day it is, and you're both wrong, Jack and John, you are both senior citizens. If you can't tell if the phone's ringing, the fire alarm's going off, or the doorbell's ringing, you're a senior citizen. If the smoke alarm goes off more than once a week, you're a senior citizen. Now, Karen, you never did that, did you?
Not more than once a week.
Even once is bad enough. If you can't understand Lloyd's message, if you can understand Lloyd's messages, you're a senior citizen. Because let me tell you, 26 years ago I couldn't. Now I can. If Betty White looks like a hot chick, you're a senior citizen. If your grandson's going off to college, you're a senior citizen. If you're looking for a gentle, quiet, sweet person with no sex drive, you're a senior citizen. If you wear nylons or cotton socks, you're a senior citizen. If you're, no, I can't see it. If you bake from scratch or cook 3 meals a day, you're a senior citizen. If you don't trust banks and have cash hidden away, you're a senior citizen. If you call your aunt's aunt and your uncle's uncles, you're a senior citizen. Because they don't do that anymore. If you once soaked windows and toilet papered houses, you're a senior citizen. If you ever drag raced on a country road, you're a senior citizen. If you know what a nonpareil is, or have eaten candy dots off of paper, you're a senior citizen. If you ever drank Moxie, you're a senior citizen. If you're always saying, what's her name, or you know, you're a senior citizen. If you can remember movie stars of the 30s and don't know who Sandra Bullock is, you're a senior citizen. If you can't find the stuff you put away for safekeeping, Isabel, you're a senior citizen. And I say Isabel because she'll call all of you at some time or another and say, I stuck away some money. Can you tell me where it is? If you hang bags of stuff on the doorknob so you don't forget to take them, you're a senior citizen. If you keep going to the refrigerator when you actually want something in the cupboard, and then you stand there and look stupid, you're a senior citizen. If you forget your grocery list and everything that's on it, you're a senior citizen. Now, I have a funny story there. I didn't forget my grocery list, and I'm going through the store, and I'm looking at my grocery list, and I start laughing, and I'm laughing. And this lady comes over and says, well, you're having a good day. I said, look at my grocery list. It said, trim the hedge, clean the basement. It was my to-do list. If you get a dozen of eggs at the store, and when you get home you find out you have 3 dozen in the refrigerator, you're a senior citizen. And what made me think of that one is, I do it all the time, but there's certain things you always get. I have 4 things of mustard on my shelf and 5 bottles of ketchup. But I always get mustard and ketchup when I go to the store. Right. If you go outside and call the dog in while he or she is looking at you from behind, you're a senior citizen. I see somebody else back there must do that. If you have bacon grease in your refrigerator, you're a senior citizen. If you have to look at the calendar to see what day it is, you're a senior citizen. If you watch TV Land, Animal Planet, or the Game Show Network, you're a senior citizen. If you listen to the oldies channel on the radio, you're a senior citizen. If you remember 29 cents a gallon gasoline, you're a senior citizen. If you can't remember if you turned off the stove or locked the door, you're a senior citizen. And if you remember change in a pack of cigarettes from the cigarette machine, you're a senior citizen. As years ago, they were 22 cents a pack, and you put a quarter in and got 3 pennies in the pack of cigarettes. How many remember that? Those are just a couple of the things that you go through on a daily. Some of them you do when you're young, but some of them only start cropping up around actually 40, and then 50 it gets pretty bad, you know? Now, what are the joys of being a senior citizen? Well, you can talk to yourself whenever you want, because all of us do as senior citizens. Now, I did just as much when I was younger, but people would look at you funny. But when you're a senior, hey, they accept it. It's just part of that process. You don't need much. Very little you need. You may want a lot, but if you look around your house, and most of us have this problem, you will find out you have about 20,000 things that you don't need. And when you go to the store, you may be tempted to buy more, but you think about it. You eat what you want. For years, I didn't do that. Now, I eat whatever I want. Right, Karen? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Well, I remember years Karen starved herself. You know, it doesn't matter anymore. Well, you were in Jenny Craig, and you were... If it wasn't for Lyme's disease, I'd actually be very, very healthy. It was the Lyme's disease that did me in. But later on you will see that I remember when I came back from Florida, most of this congregation thought I was dying, and I was 140 pounds. So I was always this Polly type. Body type. But as you get old, you eat whatever you want. I don't care. You know, what do we have, 20, 30 years? You know, might as well enjoy it. Eat what you want. You dress as you want to. You know, you can wear plaids with checks, checks with plaid. Who cares? You know, I used to dress up to go to the store and get a quart of milk. You know, this was the way we were raised. I don't care anymore. I found myself going out this winter in my long johns to pick up the garbage cans. Didn't realize it till I was out there. I'm in my long johns. But, you know, even with them on, I had more on me than a lot of people do. I've done it in my boxer shorts too, but they look the same. They look the same as regular shorts. I was shopping the other day for shorts, and I thought, those look like little boxer shorts. But they were going outside shorts. So you dress as you want to. And you aren't as fussy. This morning, right here you'll see a spot. This was some of my cheese toast. Did you think I was going to change this shirt? Nah. 20 years ago, I'd have changed it 4 times before I even decided, and I wouldn't even have worn this shirt because it wasn't pressed. But as we get older, what does it matter? Well, who's gonna dress me? Nobody else. You get discounts. Yeah. Lots and lots of discounts. and they're willing to give them to you even before you're old enough to get them, and then you get upset. Now, John gets upset if they don't ask him, or they think he's younger than he is. He was just telling that story the other day.
Yes, I was. That's good.
You have a lot more people helping you. Haven't you noticed that? I have people when I'm at the store want to help me put my stuff in, to help carry my stuff out. You know, they are more willing to help you when you get older than when you were younger. I mean, you could have been carrying 50 bags and limping, and they would have just walked past you. So you find more people helping you. One of my favorites, you can eat off of the senior menu at the restaurants. And you know what? A lot of times they automatically bring you a Go container because they know most of us can't eat what we're getting. And we need a Go container to take half of it home. You don't have to pay as many taxes on all of your income. I don't pay any. And as a senior, and depending on your income level, I don't have to pay my garbage tax anymore. I don't have to pay, I get a discount on my water and sewerage. I get a discount on my gas bill. There are lots of benefits out there for senior citizens. Now you have to look for them because they ain't going to say, hey, we got a benefit for you because you're a senior citizen. And you don't have to pay as much on taxes or any, depending on your income.
Just don't tell them your income.
Right. You have your own centers. We have senior centers where we can go play like we had playgrounds when we were kids. In between there, nada. But you have your own centers, and you can go have a good time and get a 50-cent lunch or pay nothing for it. You know? You don't get harassed as often by the cops. Really? You know, I live on the street, no parking, and they don't bug me. They might bug Bernard. He's a little younger than me. But the secret thing to do is, okay, you got the white hair, and you limp to the curb. And they go by and they wave. They don't sit there and beep, beep, or turn on that siren to get you to move. And if you're out in public, the cops seem to want to help you more. You're a senior. And they don't harass you as much. You know, if I bet I could walk down on the street and smoke a joint and they wouldn't bother me. They think the old man rolls with cigarettes. You can say limited income to the phone solicitors. It gets them every time. I must get a call a week from the Democratic Party. I say, I'm sorry, I'm on a limited income. They hang up. You get to go to Senior Fest. And if you haven't gone to Senior Fest, you're missing out, because I go every year and I get all my supply of pencils and pens. They're all handing out goodies because they want your business. All kinds of goodies at Senior Fest. And last year I didn't even have to pay to get in. The mayor paid for everybody at the door because he was running for mayor. You get Social Security and Medicare. Now, for 2 years between 65, which is that donut hole, I got nothing except the Social Security. But once you get Medicare, I've been telling you, things are a lot different. You can go to the doctor and you can get pills. You get seats quicker. You know, people, when you're younger, people don't offer you a seat. But when you're a senior and you get a free bus pass, you can go anywhere for free on the bus. But you get on the bus and there's young people there and it's full. They'll offer you their seat. Well, they do. Well, look where you live. Copley. Do they even have buses in Copley? You get to watch daytime TV. Ask JP. He now knows what soap operas are. Almost.
Right, the soap drives papers. He watches the stupid soap.
But for years, you never got to watch daytime TV, because you're usually working during the day.
That's right.
Or you're so tired from working the night before. You appreciate what's left of the younger you. You appreciate having hair, having teeth, those of you that still have them. Having hearing aids. But still having ears to put them in. That's one of the funny things that I do. One day I spent half a day looking for my glasses and they were on top of my head.
I do that.
And I'm sure Lloyd's done that with his hearing aids and they've been in his ears.
Yeah.
Or my teeth and they were in my mouth. And I'd call Jane and say, Jane, concentrate on where my teeth are. She said, well, you sound okay. And then I realized, oh, I have them in my mouth. But you do sound different without them. So you appreciate what's still left of you that's younger. You don't mind the hairs growing in the ears and in odd places, and the women don't mind so much getting the mustaches because they can get in there and get rid of them. But you appreciate the fact that you still have an upper lip. Or a chin and not two of them. You know, so you begin to appreciate the muscles that haven't gone yet. And for us men, the muscle that we can still work with. You get to say, I remember when.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, you're so old you forget.
No, you remember when, you just don't remember what happened when. And Jack and John and I have good times with that. We're trying to tell a story and we can't remember the story. So then we depend on the other one to remember the story. You remember. You know, well, I should think I remember any more than you do. You get to laugh at yourself a lot. I laugh at myself every day, probably a dozen times a day. Because I think I'm just so funny. And I'll call Jane on the phone and say, guess what I just did? Then we both laugh together. You have no pressure to finish anything. Just like Scarlett. There's always tomorrow. You know? And if you call around to your friends, you know you're not going through this alone. If you call around to your friends, they're going through the same thing. And sometimes Jack will say, I just didn't feel like doing it today.
That's fine.
And some days, I just don't feel like doing it. And I don't have to do it all. I can go out and work in the yard for an hour and come in and nap for 3. If I feel like it. You know? You get senior housing.
Wow.
And that's where I'm headed. Senior housing. 1 floor, 3 rooms. I don't need 9 rooms. I don't need all that stuff that I've accumulated. And let me tell you, I came to Allentown with only what I had in my car. And twice, I've had full houses of stuff that I've had to get rid of.
In my garage.
And it's, you know, it's easy to get it back. And some of us never get rid of it.
We pick up more.
Now I try. Jack doesn't even try. Jack's been having a yard sale for 5 years. He moved all this stuff from the last place on the mountain. He's never had a vehicle in his garage because it's full. Of course, neither has Isabel.
Hey, Glenn. Stop giving Jack stuff. He brings it home.
And Molly just got done telling me how she had truckloads taken away. Joyce, we don't even want to talk about it. Joyce has a whole department store in her basement. Plus the garage. So, You also have more leisure time. I remember 30 years I had no time. I thought I would never be able to retire. I was a workaholic for many years, worked 60 hours a week. I was in retail management, then I was in restaurant management, and for years I worked to keep a roof over my head and collect junk. So now as a senior, you learn that you have leisure time, and you can just relax. Do you know what it was like for me to learn to relax? Just to sit. I even ate standing up. Bernard still does half the time, but he'll learn. Because in the restaurant business, you didn't sit down to eat, did you, Nancy? You grabbed a bite, ran out on the floor, came back, grabbed a bite, ran out on the floor. Because you didn't make any money in the kitchen eating, you made your money out on the floor. You made your money waiting on people. And I've been a servant of people my entire life. Starting out this big, standing at a cash register and giving change in our little gas station grocery store before I even went to school. Jack and I grew up in family businesses. I picked raspberries on the fruit farm at 4 cents a box, made $5, came home, gave it to my mother, and she gave me a quarter, if I was lucky. So I mean, you know, if you have to do that. Now today, a lot of these young people don't have to do that. If any of you have been in a hiring position, you realize they stand there and they say to you, my parents tell me I don't have to work for under $10 an hour. My first job, minimum wage was 50 cents an hour. I was in high school and washed dishes, and I'm pure, Lord knows, working for 10 cents an hour, 25 cents an hour. But now you have leisure time, and you can enjoy that leisure time. Jack told me not to hurry this thing, and since I'm in a nostalgia state, I don't have to hurry it. I asked little Alice if she would help me. This is the time, little Alice. Now I'm going to pass around some pictures so you can see the evolution of Glenn. All you need to do is you take it there and they can pass it around. This is my baby picture. Well, sort of.